Brittany was saying, Tate, you're literally like the male version of me, and you're praised and I'm shamed. I think it's because we are not holding these men accountable. Like you would say, you basically called Brittany a hoe before you met her. That is so unfair. And I think if we started to say, no, Brittany, not just Brittany in that situation, not calling you a hoe or anything, not in that situation, say, Tate's a hoe, Brittany's a hoe, actually hold each other accountable.
But it's
not
just
the women.
and it's just but here's the thing, like on the other side, when you were what, 8, when was the first time you got messaged by someone with a blue check mark or like any attention?
Probably when I was like 2021.
Okay, 2021. She got the world at her fingertips. Like just by being beautiful, right? She can get messaged from like the top men in society. It's not the same for men. When a man's 2021, no woman's checking for him. Maybe a very select few, but even if they're very good looking, like they're not getting shit from rich girls.
No, but what I'm saying is the men that are getting those women, like actually saying that it's not, because it's not right. At the end of the day, cheating is wrong. Men or women, biology or not, it's wrong. And I think if we actually start to say, you know what, this man has got 3 baby mamas, you're fucking ridiculous. You're playing with STDs.
And here's the but the thing is, it's such a who's at fault when most 80% of women, 90% of women are sexually active, but only roughly 5 to 10% of guys can do what you're saying. So it's the women are more promiscuous than the men. It's like the problem you're talking about is so minuscule. It's so small. Like maybe 20% of men can.
I wouldn't say women are more promiscuous.
No,
I'm saying men cheat still. Why do you keep cutting it off though?
Women have more sexual partners now.
What are you doing?
I'm coming for you today. Now I'm your Auntie Jenny. Trust me. You swore at me. Disrespect.
You're doing way too much.
I do not accept disrespect.
Why are you doing
this?
So
is why
much?
men will cheat, because somebody's talking to you and you're still cutting them off for no reason.
Pal, please continue.
So it doesn't even need to be high value.
But do you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying like, okay, they're predicting that 45% of women will be single and childless. That's so much so that the big banks are predicting this. These women that are going to be single and childless and are on the path to that, it's not like they're not sexually active. They're probably sleeping with someone. There's not a plethora of virgins around that are women, but there is 1 in 3 men under 30 are virgins. So who's more promiscuous? If the women aren't virgins, the body counts are getting higher. And where on the other hand, men, it's a very small percentage that can actually get sex and father a bunch of kids. So that's why I say, like, I know Tate tries to, he's like, don't make it a he said, she said, but just by and large, it's more on the women because one, we're in control of sex. We pick who we sleep with and we're more sexually active than them.
In a sense, I agree because on average, yes, you're right. Women are having sex a lot more. However, when we're talking about promiscuity, men have 3 times more sexual partners than women. So men have, I think it's like 24, and
where did you see
like
that?
10.
The last I checked
Google it right now.
Yeah.
I made sure because I done my research before coming back. I was like, okay, I need to know.
So if that's true, again, it goes back to the Pareto principle, right? So let's say the average number is higher for men. Typically, it's because the top 5, 20%. We'll even say 30% of men. Let's give them 30. Like they sleep with 50, 60, 100, 150 girls. But 1 out of 3 are virgins or haven't had sex in the past year. Historically.
Exactly. That's why I agree with what you're saying.
But that's why I'm saying, like, by and large, women are sleeping with a very small percentage of men.
But those small percentage are ruining it for the other men. So if they keep sleeping with so many women, they're ruining it for the ones that aren't getting laid. So actually, it's their fault.
You could argue that, but you could also say it's more on the women because we're in control of sex. Most men, like if you went to a biological level, their biology is to sleep with whoever they can, right? Like most men, if you get right, but for the men, right, where we have to be more selective and sacred with who we give it to, right? Like we value sex more like emotionally than men do. And like most men, you get butt naked in front of them. What they're not doing. And so it's like you're telling that small percentage of men, like, oh, don't do that. Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, I think it's more on women because there's more sexually promiscuous women than there are sexually promiscuous men. And it's men's mating strategy to do that. That's their biology. Where it's not in our biology to be promiscuous, but we're the ones doing it. But we have this like feminism, empowerment. you can do whatever you want and still be fine. Where it's like, I feel like as women, if like, you should come back and say, you know what, wait for someone that loves you, wait for this, wait for that. That's just my opinion on it. I just think it's more on the women because there's more of us doing it than the men.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, I don't promote promiscuity, but I just think that there's just a double standard where, like, men are just seen as it is what it is. It's just biological. They should like sex more, but women enjoy sex. They do. Like, it's okay.
Would you know what the biggest problem I would say is? Really, 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 really and truly, is the fact that all of a sudden, for one reason or the other, everybody wants to talk about who they are having sex with and who they take to bed, to the point that you disclosing your sexual orientation is something that is even important. At the end of the day, listen, you may know that I'm not a virgin because I told you I was in a relationship for 5 years.
You're not?
Whatever I do, but wait.
Shut up.
I know, shocking, right? But whatever
I thought you were saving yourself.
My sister, listen, whatever I do or don't do is not for people to know. Right? It's not for people to want to discuss. It's not for people, unless I'm going to show you my body, my naked body. I don't need to talk to you about whatever I do in bed with someone else. And I think that's one of the problems that also people are having, they're going to be, like, listen, as a woman, you can have sex. Fine. What matters mostly, first and foremost, is how you handle yourself, how selective you may be. At the end of the day, they look for purity to a certain extent. But if you're not a virgin, don't worry, my sister, handle yourself well. Don't be there expecting men to accept women to just be sexually open and move in certain ways that are mad and not get the repercussion. That is why when I dress myself, I am a beautiful woman with a good body. I am, and I know, and I don't need anybody else to tell me I got a mirror. But guess what? When I walk around, I dress in a certain way. Why? Because I want to display myself in a way that brings back the attention that I am looking for. So when men approach me, they don't approach me like I'm a hoe. When men approach me, they approach me with respect. Everything comes down to how you choose to portray yourself. A lot of women want to portray themselves as hoes and be like, yeah, I'm that girl, hot girl summer. What do you think that's going to do to you? What is that going to do to your other sisters? Handle yourself with more care. I stand here. Like I said, I want to be a role model to every single woman. Be powerful, be strong, be intellectual, be educated. But don't forget, respect yourself. Don't be saying, I fuck who I want to fuck. No, be selective. That's it.
I agree. Women definitely need to be held accountable, definitely, because I do think, like Tate said, we are the ones creating the problems for each other, because if you're opening your legs to any man, now they don't even feel the need to get married anymore, because they're like, well, I can just get sex. Like, it's so easy. However, what I'm just trying to say is, we can't just put it on the women, because these men are the ones sleeping with them.
But I'm saying for 50 years, we have put it on the men. Okay, there's a lot of little things in society you guys probably don't even notice. And I didn't either before I started like really listening to what men say. Like, if you say she got knocked up, it sounds like something that happened to her, not a choice she made. Who knocked her up? He did. We always put the blame on the men. It's very new. This is a new type of content where you put any accountability on women. Watch some early 2000s like Steve Harvey dating it. No, watch some early 2000s Steve Harvey dating advice where these women come up to him and like he just says, "Oh, like even the idea of, oh, you intimidate guys." No, there's probably something about you that guys don't like. And that's just being honest. Sweet feminine girls don't intimidate anybody. There's probably something about you guys don't like. And then on top of that, it's like, I just think men are never allowed to have standards. Like, even every time a man has a standard, he's shamed for it. So if they say, "Oh, I like thin women, I like pure women," they say he's slut shaming, body shaming. It's not the same for women.